Good morning, teacher. I'm Lina, and my partner's name is Anya. We are talking about how to use visual aids in presentation. We will give you some times to the slides during the presentation. And first, we start with the forest. With the forest, you can have brilliant ideas, but if you can get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. Lee Lacoa.
Okay, tips for planning the presentation. Okay, first, summarize the information when you investigate the topic. Summarize the information in diagrams to make it easier to present. Next, reduce the number of words spoken. You can display a graph of your result instead of reading things. Clarify and show everyday examples to make it easier to understand. Unfinished create a major from the title. Display, for example, you can display picture or start with a sentence. You need to consider what kind of impact you want to have beforehand. Do you want the audience to be sad, happy, angry, etc.?
Okay, tips for the slide. First, have a light and simple background. It can be guide for the example of color lights and avoid using very dark colors. Second, avoid using too many different fonts or font size. This create distractions. For example, in the first paragraphs, Peter Piper Pig, it's correct because it has the best option of font size, and the second one correct because it has so many different types of fonts. Third, use animations for only purpose, such as to reveal the process. For example, in the mitosis, you can use animations to reveal a step by step of the process. Fourth, use a large font a minimum 18 points. For example, in the Faras, this size is perfect. It goes has 18 points, and the second one is grown because it's so small. And fifth, use bullets to summarize key points in the main ideas. For example, first idea, second idea, and third idea. The second ones are incorrect because it doesn't have bullet points.
Okay, next six. Consider using diagrams to summarize the information because the audience will find the diagrams easier to read. Next, seven. Avoid putting too much text on a slide. Avoid using red or green text as is difficult to read. And eight. Always have a backup plan in a case there is a technical problem and you can now show the slide images, example bring brochures or a poster.
Okay, this one is about some themes to create an impact when you start your presentation. You create an impact, for example, if your presentation is about health rights of smoking, you can show pictures of the effects of smoking. Or you can start your presentation with a phrase about the topic. Emphasize what are you saying. If you read the titles about this topic, don't check the topic and don't check the ideas. Make a memorable point so the information stays in mind.
Okay, and next improve your credibility by handling the issue. Next engage the audience and keep their interest and make some time easier for the audience to understand by using metaphors or analogies.
During the presentation, first make sure everyone in the audience can see the visual aids. If part of your audience cannot see the presentation, it will be more difficult to understand. Second, look at audience. Most of the time, instead of a picture, each contact gives you credibility with the public. Third, avoid reading from the visual aids. This will make it seem that you don't prepare the topic. The public think you read because you didn't talk about or you didn't study the topic.
Okay, and next, as soon as you show the visual aid, it will catch your audience attention, so you should explain it right away. You will be ignored if you talk about something else. Next, make it clear to audience you are using it and set small presentation objectives when you begin and finish when you no longer need the visual aid. Make sure the audience cannot say it, so they will only pay attention to his voice.
To conclude, we are give you some conclusions. First, remember to master the subjects. The more you investigate the presentation, it's the better.
Okay, next use the appropriate fonts and font size.
Third, generate credibility in the public.
And four, finally show diagrams, metaphors, analogies so that everyone can understand the topic.
Okay, thanks for your attention.
Thank you.